So let's take a few deep breaths,
Yes.
and I'll be establishing a container, energetic container around us. Okay. And now let's invite the energy of Master Kuthumi again to this container.
Ooh. Ooh. Oof. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I am present. I'm present. Hoo, 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 hoo.
Okay. May I ask a question?
Yes. Yes. Always welcome. Always welcome.
So nowadays, so many people are experiencing anxiety, sometimes even worse things like depression. And I think via meditation, they can improve a lot their mental mood, let's say their mental conditions, and resume experience joy. But some people are overwhelmed by the amount of meditations that are nowadays available. Some of them say that they cannot concentrate and things like that. So I would like to receive a suggestion, a lesson, or a tip on how people can easily tune in to their heart and improve their mental mood.
Hmm. Yes. Yes, indeed. That is a beautiful question. And it's an important question because so many people, as you say, feel disconnected, feel out of alignment. And it is this disconnection and this disalignment between the mind and the heart that causes an internal struggle, an internal turmoil, a push pull that eventually becomes emotions of a worry, of fear, and eventually anxiety. And when that resides for a long time, it can turn even into depression, which is really a sign that there is a significant unbalance. And we want to acknowledge that life on earth, moving through the 3D density, is challenging at times. It is a very dense reality, and many souls are coming from other kinds of less dense incarnations, and this may cause a lot of confusion on a subconscious level. And there is so much programming through society around you, creating also so much pressure. And there is a conflict between the way that many people feel they are expected to live everything that they are expected to achieve, to live life, And because they are running and they are operating from the mind, because when the body goes into these kind of stress responses, the body moves into fight, flight, freeze. And when the body is in that state, there will be a very powerful signal sent to the analytical mind, telling the mind that this dangerous situation needs to be solved urgently. Urgently. The problem needs to be solved now. And the mind starts looking for an answer. But very often that answer is not to be found because it might be a situation of wanting to leave the current job, not feeling happy in a relationship, and there is no simple solution. And the mind just keeps searching. And this causes a loop of stress, which can feel very difficult to break out of. And the only solution is to come out of the power of that mind and to reconnect to the heart, to the soul, to the inner guidance that is the truth of every living, incarnated human being. So, how to do that in the most effective way? We would say that it is so important to listen to what feels good for every individual. There is no one solution that fits all. It is very, very individual. The way that feels most easy to connect back to the heart. And in a society where everything is around the doing, the processes, the 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 checklist, also the most natural process to reconnect to the heart might become mm, complex and something that is attempted to achieve through the mind. It becomes very contradictive. And that is why we would say, and this might feel challenging, that the best way to reconnect to the truth of you, to reconnect to the heart, is to go about it in a playful way, in a more childlike, curious, open way. Because it is from that state that you return to the truth of you as you were born into this earthly reality. As that little baby, you were just a pure soul. There was no mind telling you that you were not loved and that you had to do things to deserve love, deserve getting fed or getting dressed or having your needs met. This is something that you learn later on. And now it's time to return to that innocence, return to that playfulness, realize that what you refer to as spirituality is not yet another process. It is about releasing the doing and coming back to the being, to the pureness, to the innocence, and to the playfulness. And yes, if you tell yourself that the only way to connect to your heart is to meditate at least for mm, an hour a day or whatever it may be, suddenly it's a doing, it's another pressure, it's another It's another thing in your list. It's another thing to become stressed around. Another thing that can feel like a failure when you're not doing it, when you're not ticking the box. What if you release the pressure? What if you do what feels good to you? For some people, it may be the most beautiful way to connect to the heart might be through animals, through being very, very, very present with an animal, or to be very present out in nature, or to to play with their children, or whatever it may be. But there is no one way, there is no one process. And as people find their themselves in this state of anxiety or depression, as you mentioned, first of all, knowledge. Knowledge and understanding is always power. Knowledge is power. Just the pure understanding of the mind body connection, which is the equipment that you have received in this physical incarnation. You are equipped with a body, you're equipped with a mind and a soul. And understanding that mind body connection is the first way of taking back your power, realizing that when you end up in that rabbit hole or in those spirals of fear and anxiety, they are not you. They are not the truth of you. And when you start to realize that, understanding why it's happening and also why it makes your mind go absolutely crazy, you can start to detach yourself, realizing that you are not those emotions and you are not your mind. And this is a practice. And every time you can stop yourself, taking a step back and detaching yourself, that is a huge gain. And you can start to recondition your body and mind to come back into a more safe, calm place. And as the body calms down, the mind will also calm down. It is very difficult to reconnect the heart and to the soul if your body is in a fight, flight, freeze situation or state of being. So the first thing to do is always then to make sure that your body feels safe in whatever way is good for you, whether it is dancing, whether it is moving gently, whether it's taking a walk in nature, um, lying down in a warm bath, um, whatever practice feels good to you, mm, whatever soothes you. And when you can come back out of that state, the body calms down and the mind calms down, and you can start to move back into your heart, into the seat of your soul, connecting to your soul, but forcing yourself into so-called meditation from a state of stress, of fear, of anxiety is very challenging. But just finding those moments of calm and then moving step by step and playing with it and realizing what is beautiful for you. That is what we would say. Don't make it rigid. Don't make it into another process. Don't make it into another mind game. Because this is about connecting to something that is beyond. This is about rediscovering your consciousness, which is your truth, your essence, your essence. And it resides in all of you. There is no one that cannot connect to their soul's essence.
Okay, nice. Thank you. Uh, when I talk about those things with people in general, even light workers, They always reply something like, "Okay, Fabio, but how can I have joy or look for joyful activities if I have so many bills to pay during the month? If my mind is how to sustain myself?" So I see the subject of survival and about everything about money becoming so strong in this new, let's say, vibrational level that we are reaching on Earth right now. What can you tell people to allow them to go more easily with the flow of the divine providence, the divine order?
Ultimately, ultimately, you are energetic beings. And in this universe, everything is frequency and vibration. And you are the creators of your own reality. Your 3D earthly reality is an embodied, a condensed reflection of your inner state of being, of your vibration. And this may seem like a harsh truth in some ways, but we want to say that this is also the power, the knowing that you, every one of you, hold the power to create your own reality. Just like has been mentioned before, by raising your state of consciousness, you can detangle from that matrix of fear, of lack, and limitation that is holding you back, that is lowering your frequency, and that is making you create and recreate that same reality over and over and over again. So, how do you do this? That is a very good question. Coming back to the fact that you are frequency and vibration, and that at your core, your soul is vibrating. You have a soul's frequency. That frequency consists of of truth, of love, of joy, of happiness, of everything that is beautiful. That is who you are in your absolute most highest state, what you might refer to as a state of enlightenment. And not every person will reach that state. However, as you start vibrating more and more in frequencies of love, of authenticity, of joy, of happiness, of your truth, you will raise your frequency and vibration, and the tangible reality will start to collapse, mirroring that state of being, that frequency. And the trick to reaching a higher frequency is to let go of everything that does not serve you, which means that there needs to be a process of letting go of old stagnant energies, old patterns, old beliefs, old paradigms. Everything is being stored in the body as energetic imprints, and these need to be released. And this will not happen all at once. This is a human journey, and you're moving through the human 3D earthly experience of density and of duality. That is what you chose. You are experiencing yourself as separate beings. Just the way you are playing with duality and non duality in this situation right here, right now, because you are experiencing yourselves as two separate beings on one end of this screen. However, on a higher state, this is all one. This is all one. This is all one. And there is energy and frequency as a stream of consciousness flowing through this human physical vessel at this moment, creating these words. But on a higher quantum level, it's just consciousness. And we are all one. And we're all part of this energy. So, coming back to the lack, what are the old stories and beliefs that you keep telling yourself? What is really behind it? Where lies the stress? Do you see yourself as worthy to receive? Where are you holding yourself back? Can you see some patterns? And we really don't want to push you into a place of digging and obsessing about everything that you have been through. But at these moments of time when the energies are also very intense, helping you to bring up everything that doesn't serve you, it will come up to the surface. And the moment you realize this is for you, this is because there is something to be seen, to be felt, to be let go of. That is how you then shift. And when you do this, a step at a time, and you let these emotions that come up. So when that emotion comes up, that emotion of worry, of lack, what is it reminding you of? Can you find a version of yourself that has lived something and that has stored this energetic vibration? And the moment you realize this, you can let go of that energy and you can also rewrite the story. Decide how you want things to play out. However, when you want to consciously create your reality and you start visualizing, or you write down what you want to achieve and you try to focus on that, that is all good, but the conscious mind is just a small part. So if there are still subconscious beliefs that are contradictory, they will be dominant because that is where you will be vibrating most of the time. That is why you need to bring these old stories and patterns out to the surface. And we want to tell you that this process does not need to be lengthy. But things will come up in divine time, all orchestrated by your higher self. When you let it, when you release the resistance and realizing that everything is happening for you. It is for you to see, it is for you to release so that you can expand, so that you can move higher and closer to your highest frequency. And this is a continuous journey. But as you release the resistance and you have the courage to meet yourself, to meet these emotions and these stories, something truly magical will happen. Because this is how you transmute energy on a quantum level. It's all energy. And the shifting in energy happens instantaneously. So you decide how long you want this to take. Hmm. And the moment you realize that you can decide it is all energy and frequency, and instead of running from yourself, numbing, working harder, uh, keeping yourself so busy, listening to things, watching things, scrolling, whatever you do to run from yourself, to numb, what if you allow yourself to just really see, to really feel, and to embrace that with your love and with your consciousness? That is how you expand the most rapidly, because it is not a game of doing. It is not a game of running more, struggling more, efforting more. That is the old, dense 3D way of achieving things. And you can go down that route too. Absolutely. That is how most people do it. But if you are here tapping into this frequency, you have realized that you are the creator of your own reality. And you have realized that you are a being of light, of love, of frequency. And you are here to create your own version of heaven on earth. That is why you came here. And the way to do that is to return to your authentic self, to your soul's frequency, releasing bit by bit those old stories and paradigms that don't serve you anymore. And we also want to say that everything that you've been through up until now has been there to teach you, because this whole earthly experience and experiment is an experience of duality. So you will always feel the, you might call it darkness, you might call it contrast, you might call it whatever you want to. There are always two ends to the stick. There is what you want and there is what you don't want. And you will move between those ends of the stick. And then you learn and you integrate and you elevate, and it's a continuous process. It's a continuous process, and it's a beautiful process because it's a journey, and it's the journey of life. It is the journey of life. But the more you start releasing resistance and moving with the flow and realizing that everything is for you, this becomes easier and easier and easier. And life becomes more and more beautiful. But you will never be so called done, not until the moment you step on the other side and you release the attachment to your physical vessel and to the earthly 3D reality. Then you are so called done. But as long as you are here on earth, enjoy it. Enjoy those contrasts. Enjoy feeling sad and then move to happiness, to laughter. Enjoy the pouring rain and then the sun comes out. You cannot even begin to grasp or to fathom how lucky you are to be here to experience all of this beauty and to enjoy this wonderful, exciting journey of expansion, awakening during these crucial times. Your soul chose to be here right now, supporting this ascension by choosing to elevate, to come together and to weave these new grids of higher frequencies, to rise up higher together and to raise the frequency of the earth. That is why you came here. So know that and know how incredibly supported you are. And you can always ask us, ask the other side for support. We are there with you. Whoever you want to ask, your angels, guides, or higher self, whatever feels good to you, the ascended masters, it doesn't matter. We're all here for you. I'm here for you. We're all here. We're all streams of consciousness supporting you, but only when you ask for the support. We are not allowed to interfere. Earth is run by free will, and you all know this by now. There is no interference. But there is so much support available. There's so much support. But we cannot walk for you. You have to use your human legs. But we are here to support you, guide you, help you raise your vibration, help to show you where you are still not fully seeing yourself, not fully loving yourself, where you're still holding yourself back, reiterating and recreating a reality of lack, of limitation, whatever it may be. And it's your time now to rise. It is your time to break free from those old patterns. They do not serve you anymore.
Is there people that are this? I mean, everyone can transmute sadness and disappointment and lack in joy and abundance? Or are there people that are, let's say, whose fate is to just experience disappointment and lack and sadness?
You came to earth as love, and you are returning back from earth as love. You are not here to be punished. You are here to find the way back to yourself, to your heart, to your truth, and to your soul essence, to the truth of who you really are and the infinite power that you hold. And you are being taught in this societies, in most of societies, you are being taught from when you are little that you have to get support from outside of you. You need to be fixed in different ways. Everything from having a headache, you need to have a pill to solve the headache. You are taken, your power is very often taken away from you through the way that societies have been built. And your life is being, in a way, controlled by your employment, by paying taxes, by your controlled by the bank, by insurances, whatever it is. The truth is that you hold the power because you are an extension of source energy. You are an extension of the creator. And as you start to wake up to that truth, you can start to detangle yourself from those old beliefs and move back into your power. And you are equipped with everything you need. You have everything you need inside of you. No one else needs to fix you. However, it is beautiful when you come together, you support one another. But what truly happens is that when you support someone else, and we know that Fabio is a beautiful, powerful healer. And what he is doing is that he is igniting something inside of the person receiving the healing, triggering the healing to happen within the person itself. So you can act as catalysts and support each other. You can create environments where your joint energetic field creates ascension. It is very, very, very powerful. That is also why we are grateful to share these messages, because this is a frequency. And the container that you are creating is not only yours, but it's a energetic container with all the people that will listen to this message, regardless of your linear time. It's a frequency. The power of your own light, the power of your own love can transmute any negative emotions. The question is always how much you allow yourself to open up and to tap into that light and that love. And the portal of connection is through your heart. And when you start connecting to that, you can stream the energies of the beyond. You can stream your own energy because you are that being. And you can shine that love, that light, your own consciousness on anything inside of you, or the experiences that you've had, or the emotions that you're feeling. When you can hold yourself in that space of love, that is when it truly dissolves. And this can happen so rapidly. When you have the courage, when you dare to feel into what is truly going on. Perhaps it is still your 5-year-old self being really scared of actually being left behind, or not feeling really seen or loved, and that is holding you back. Or it's your 15-year-old self that was bullied in school and don't want to use your voice because what if you get shut out and bullied again? And even if it doesn't make sense to your grown up self, those are the energetic emotions, the energetic imprints that might come up, that might be triggered. And the moment you reconnect to that 15-year-old version of you, you see them, you see him or her, you reconnect to these emotions, and you envelop them in your awareness, your consciousness, and your love. And you let them know that now you are here to take care of them. You are here to let them know that they are safe. They do not need to hold you back or to pull you down anymore, because they can release that burden to you and you can integrate them. You can bring them with you. Because that is how these energetic imprints are created. It is always something that happens through your life. So it's always linked to a version of you, and sometimes may be difficult to know. And there are emotions that are very deep. There are very deep programmings or wounds that have been present for a long time. Don't overanalyze it, because this is, again, is not about the analysis. This is a quantum energetic process happening inside of you through your consciousness. And because it's an energetic process, because this is happening on an energetic level, it can happen very fast, because energetically there is no time delay. There is no time delay. Everything is in constant vibration. There is no status quo. There is no status quo. And that is why some people are able to really totally turn around, because they have this profound realization of something very deep inside of them. And once they really integrate that, there is an enormous amount of energy released, taking letting them take their power back and integrating this energy and letting them rise higher. This will have a huge effect on the frequency, and that is when people experience a so-called quantum shift. That is really a huge shift, because suddenly you're vibrating in a whole different frequency, and your outer reality will also quickly start to collapse in a whole different way, which can make very sudden shifts. Some people will lose their job because their job was not in an energetic resonance, but the moment they really shift upwards, there is such a collision that something will make it disappear. It will make it it will not There will not be an alignment, and something much better will come in. Of relationships may fall apart, but new relationships come in that are on that level of frequency. All kinds of things can happen very quickly. And here is where the human mind really sometimes plays tricks, because the human mind feels safe in the known, often wants to stay in the known. The known is safe, even if the known has been really tough, really challenging. It is known. And when you are on this journey of expansion and ascension, and you want to create a life that is so much bigger, you want to pursue your dreams, you want to have a work where you feel like you can really bring yourself, bring your passions to life. You want a relationship where you thrive, where there is unconditional love. All of these things, if you haven't lived them yet, they reside in that unknown. And don't let your mind trick you saying that, no, let's stay here. Let's stay here where it's safe. Because it's time to ascend. And that is where you need to hold yourself, to make sure that you constantly let yourself feel safe to walk on this path into the unknown, not continuing to project all of your experiences from the past and recreating those into the future the way your mind wants to do it. That is how you create a whole new reality around you. And this is available for all of you, no exceptions. You are the masters, you are the creators. Don't ever let anyone or anything take that power away from you. You hold the power.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there some people say that there is something like an ego or our personality or our humanity that tries to let's say to run away from change and to keep the status quo because in the opinion of the ego the status quo is more safe or things like that. Is there such a thing? And if there is, how can we convince or how can we deal with this ego or personality to make change more graceful?
Hmm. Yes. Yes, this is exactly what we were touching upon previously. And words words are just words and labels, and as these messages are frequency and vibration translated into words, and the words are also limited by this vessel, so they are limited to the vocabulary of Gabby. Whatever you want to call it, you are equipped with an analytic mind, or some call it the ego mind. And the key role of the analytical mind is to keep you safe. This is the equipment that you got to keep you safe. And it has one very dominant role, and that is to keep you alive. So anything that appears to be a danger is telling the analytical or ego mind to solve that danger. And many people, and this was the case for this vessel, have been so trained to live their whole lives through their mind, trying to figure everything out, trying to plan, trying to strategize, wanting to know. That is the role of the mind. However, if you want to live a more expanded life, the guidance towards your dreams, your visions, cannot be planned out by the mind. They can only be guided by the heart through the connection from the heart to the higher mind or to the higher self, or whatever term you want to use. Your higher self is leading and guiding you forward towards everything that you put your intention on. You have a beautiful saying where intention goes, energy flows. So when you set those beautiful intentions, those visions, those dreams, the energy starts flowing in that way. However, when you get stuck in your mind and you try to figure out the next steps, you will interfere with that process. And that might take you on a detour, which might be the perfect thing. However, if you want to step into your role as the creator, knowing that you are not just this physical incarnation, being here having to try to figure it all out with your mind, planning, but you know there is a bigger way. You have realized that you are a spiritual being, you are a soul, you are an extension of source. When you want to start to create from that place, the compass to leading you towards those bigger dreams, they are coming from the guidance of your heart. And this is the journey. Some call it the longest journey you will ever make. The journey from your head to your heart. And it is a practice. It is a practice. It is a practice to coming back to the heart. And yes, the only thing that the mind can figure out is based on everything that you have lived so far. So the mind will bring up all kinds of experiences that have been stored in the subconscious mind. And based on that, it will try to plan the next steps forward. Which means that if you listen to your mind, you will most likely reiterate a similar future as your past. The moment you start trusting your heart, start trusting and tapping in to the frequency of your heart, that is where you receive that guidance. That is where you receive those inspired actions. That the heart is telling you suddenly to write that mail, to go and meet that person, to take that detour with a car, whatever it might be. We can promise you that every one of you, when you look back on your life so far, you will have proof that there have been times where you really wanted something and you had such a clear intention and you got so excited about it, and then one thing led to another, and boom, this beautiful experience, or perhaps something even better, materialized. And you can realize now that you could never, ever, ever have figured that out with your mind. Never, ever. You can only connect the dots looking backward. But your mind will try and tell you over and over again that let's put those dots, because you need to know. You need to figure it out. You need to strategize, plan, and otherwise you're irresponsible. So, what we want to say is that the journey is to give your heart more space to lead, to trust the guidance of your heart, to trust those nudges, those intuitive hits, and to follow the joy. So, how do you know when your heart is leading you? It will feel good. It will feel good because your higher self, or source, your guides, whatever you want to call it, is always leading you on a path that is joyful. Then we're not saying that every action will be easy, because some of those actions will definitely put you out of your comfort zone. Because your comfort zone is where you've been before, is what you already know. But it is your time to jump into the unknown, to do the things that you always wanted to do, to experience. And oftentimes when you start following the guidance of the heart, it will lead you in the most beautiful ways. And will also keep you safe, will lead and guide you on the path of least resistance. However, if you experience resistance on the way, it is for your growth. It is for your expansion. It is because you still have something that you need to learn on the way. Something that needs to be reflected back to you so that you can release that, and so that you can ascend and you can continue. So the key here is really that journey from the mind to the heart, letting the heart lead the way and let the mind support. The mind is there to support. The mind is there to hold space for the guidance of the heart. That is when there is a perfect balance. The way that you can also refer to it as the balance between the masculine and the feminine, where the feminine is the creativity, the intuition, the flow, and the masculine holds the structure, the protection. And this is all inside of you. You have the masculine and the feminine aspects inside of you, all of you. This is not gender related. But you have been living in a society that has been dominated by the so-called masculine aspects, but not in a way that they have been holding so much space for the feminine creativity, but in a more distorted, controlling way. And that is not what we're talking about. We're talking about the beautiful, balanced, inner state of the masculine and the feminine, the creation and the holding of the creation, the space holding. So the mind will never disappear. The mind will never be totally shut off. That is also not the intention, but the intention is to let the heart lead the way and the mind support, not the other way around.
Okay, really nice. Is everything that happens around us, like with our 3D reality, with accidents, with disease, kind of message to nudge us to the right direction? Or what are they about?
Hmm. Yes. Ultimately, when you realize that you are consciousness, that you are the creators, you realize that not only are you playing this game, running through this game, whatever metaphor you want to use, or you see it as a beautiful old theater where you are watching the actors on stage, and you realize that you are one of those actors, but you're also the one observing the play. And ultimately, you also realize that you are the one directing the play. Now, this becomes a bit tricky because, yes, you are all sovereign beings, standing in your own energy and vibration, creating a mirror outside of you where your life is manifesting as a mirror of your state of being. But you are also connected connected. You are also connected through the field with the people, places, and circumstances around you. It's all energy and it's all connected. So there will be things happening that are, in a way, not a direct effect of your unique frequency and vibration, but they will come into your field of awareness. There is a co-creation. There is a co-creation. Because the only one that you can truly control, let's say, is yourself. You can never force your control upon anyone else. You are all sovereign beings. And just as you are operating according to the laws of the universe, all people on earth are operating on the basis of free will. So you are always deciding, and you are all sovereign beings, but you are also collectively connected on an energetic level. And this is also why we are coming through with these messages at this time of the importance of unity and community consciousness. Because as you come together in community where you share values, where you share frequencies of truth, of love, of compassion, of support, this is where you jointly start weaving frequencies and energies that will jointly materialize as a more beautiful, loving world where there is less violence, where there is less conflict, where there is less war. Will the contrast disappear? No, it will not disappear. But you are in a place right now where you are collectively moving, raising the vibration and consciousness to move higher. But it will take time before Earth would operate in a whole new unity state of higher dimensional consciousness, just like some of the other evolved beings from other places in this universe. You are on planet Earth. And planet Earth has been a place of great density. And you are in this incredibly exciting time right now where humanity is rising at a very accelerated speed. And you are part of that ascension. Every one of you tapping into this frequency, hearing this message is part of that collective ascension. You wouldn't be able to hear this message if it wasn't vibrating on your frequency. You would close it down. You would not listen. So if you are here listening to this, tapping into this frequency, it's because you are part of that joint unity, expansion, and ascension. Perhaps this is a longer answer to that question, but yes, you are the creator of your own reality, but your reality is also bigger than just you. That is also why you will start to notice as you raise your consciousness, as you realize how powerful you are as a creator, you will see how you're able to manifest things that are very personal to you, some of them so quickly you cannot even blink. You start thinking about a black cat, and 10 minutes later you see a black cat. Is that a coincidence? No, it's you. And it's you because from a quantum level, everything is happening in the now moment. So that higher part of you already knows that there is a black cat in the vicinity. So this is a way for you to show yourself your creator power. Many of you love to talk about synchronicities, love to talk about what you refer to as angel numbers. Angel numbers are beautiful because it is you showing yourself your own power. Is there a generic meaning? Is there a instruction manual? No, there isn't. But you humans have created ones. But if you say that every time I see a white cat, it means this. You can create your own library. And because you're so powerful, this is what you will start to see. And it is there for you to show you how quickly your intentions will start to manifest into tangible physical reality. Because ultimately, it's all here and now. And what you really have to understand is that is exactly how powerful you are. You cannot only manifest seeing number 222 or 444 or whatever you're seeing. You can create your reality. You can change the status of your bank account. You can change your job. You can find your dream partner. You can have the most beautiful relationship with your children. Whatever is really important to you, you can create that. In just the same way. So all of those beautiful signs and synchronicities, they are only there as a mirror reflection showing you just how powerful you are as creator. And it's a beautiful game to play. It's you playing with yourself and the quantum. It's you playing with yourself. Just like we are playing here, playing with consciousness. Right now we're playing in the quantum fields. Playing in the quantum field. Streaming consciousness through this vessel. But it's really a frequency and a vibration. And your minds are can take this in, can hear this as words. But truly, these frequencies go straight through, talking to your heart, supporting you to reconnect to that truth, supporting you to wake up that power inside of you. You hold so much power that your human mind would probably be so scared to realize how powerful you are. You are so powerful. And that is really, really, really why we are so incredibly grateful to bring these messages through right here, right now, for you, to support you, to take back your own power, to raise your frequency, to create your heaven on earth. Because as you raise your frequency, you will affect all those around you. And together, you start to rise. Together you elevate, and together you create a such a power of energy, of love, of truth. That is what will change this world. We believe that you who are tapping into this, you know that darkness cannot be fought with darkness. Light is the only thing that destroys darkness. You are the light. You are the light. You are the walking light on this earth. So let that light stream to you and through you. Go out and create your most beautiful, expansive reality for yourself, for your loved ones, and for all of those around you. It is not egoistic to tend to yourself first. Because the moment you start reconnecting to you, you start streaming that light and love through your heart, overflowing your own cup. That is when you can give to others without feeling depleted. There is no limit for the amount of love and light that is available for you. There is an infinite stream. You are an extension of Source, of the power that has created this whole universe. Do you think that this power, this stream of energy is enough for you? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it is your time to rise, to step out into that light, into all of your glory, and to jointly support the earth, support Gaia to return to her divine origin.
Okay, thank you so much. Do you have a last message for Gabi to facilitate her to have more grace on her path?
Mm. To realize, to realize more fully that she is a sovereign being, and that she can, in any moment in time, decide what she allows into her energetic field and not. Even if she has been trained, her body has been trained ever since she was a little child to take on everyone else's emotions, worries, fears. She started to take that on. So she has learned that that is the normal way of living, taking anyone else's energy on to try to support, because she didn't know any other way. And it is time now for her to stand in her own energy, to stand in her own power, to stream the energy to her and through her the way that she has learned to do, but not to allow unwanted energies to enter her field. That is what will support her ascension even further, and that will also support her body and her nervous system that sometimes is on the edge. Because it is a lot to handle. But it is a learning process, and it's all perfect. And she needed to go through these experiences to learn, to know how it feels, to learn the difference. And she has constantly been guided and protected. That is also why she has always been able to return to balance. And she has felt guided and called to take actions that support her body and nervous system. There is no coincidence that she spends so much time out in nature. There is no coincidence that she has 3 rabbits at home to support her grounding energy, to support her coming back to her heart. There is no coincidence that she's spending a lot of time on her own, because she has come to realize that she is never alone. Not anymore. Not anymore. But it is time now. It is time now to learn how to protect and to run her own energy as the sovereign being she is. There is also no coincidence that she is sitting here in front of Fabio, of you, who is a very experienced teacher. There is no coincidence. There are no coincidences. You both know that. It's all perfectly, divinely orchestrated.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm sure she will appreciate that. And finally, is there any last message for Fabio specifically?
Hmm. 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 We are happy. We are happy, happy, happy to see the way that you are stepping out more and more out of your comfort zone, showing yourself more, spreading your light more, following that inner guidance, that inner knowing. Because you know that you are a teacher, you know that you are here to support humanity with all that you are and all that you have to bring. And you have such beautiful gifts. So, no more holding back. No more holding back. And you have you have you have all the knowledge, you have all the tools to guide yourself and to mirror yourself, and you have all the connections to all of us being here, loving to interact with you, loving to play with you, to create with you, to support you, to channel through you, all of that. Realize how much you have. Take a moment, some time to really give yourself some credits. To really look at yourself and say, wow, wow, wow. And it can only get even better. And how fun isn't this journey? Let it be fun. Let it be fun. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Let it be fun. You hold so much joy. You hold such a powerful high frequency. Play with that even more. Just allow it. Just allow, just allow, just allow. Just allow. Mm.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So now let's ask Master Kutumi to recede to the place that he belongs, and let ask all the personality of Gabi to once again occupy her body, and let's ask that this process will be gentle.
Oh, oof.
How are you feeling?
Apart from my legs sleeping, I'm feeling good.